Hey guys, it's Molly. Long time no see. Not done a video in quite a long time. I was studying abroad for the last like 3 months. So I was in like Australia, New Zealand, Dublin, kind of all over the place, and I'm finally home. So I'm gonna start filming videos again. And the first of those videos is going to be my January and February reading wrap up. So this is all the books that I read in January and February. Total of both of those months, I read 19 books. This is gonna be quite a lot of books to wrap up. But I just thought I would, oh shoot. I thought I would just combine the two because, then I can do like my March reading wrap up and then we're just like all like on track for the rest of the year. So this is technically my first wrap up video of 2023. It's crazy because it's already March, but a little MIA, so not fully my fault, but whatever. So yeah, this is like all those books that I read, so let's just get into it. I have my like list pulled up. Sorry, I'm like talking away from the camera because I have my list pulled up on my computer. These are all the books that I've read because I also read on my phone / on my Kindle a lot. So I have a lot of like Kindle Unlimited books that I read. So this is them, so I don't like forget the rating. Oh my gosh. You know when you're like wearing chapstick and then it like gets in your mouth? Not a good taste. So yeah, we're just gonna go through all of the books that I've read. So first, we have our very first book of the year, of the month, is The Upside of Falling by Alex Light. This was a Wattpad book. So I bought this book in December, I think. I did like a haul. This wasn't a haul. I'm pretty sure I did like recent books I bought or something haul video, but this was a book that I read. I didn't really like it that much, but I didn't really like, I didn't think I was gonna like it that much, but I like liked it a whole lot less than I thought I was going to. There's just a lot of plot holes in this book and it just didn't make any sense to me. Basically, it's about this girl, Becca. It's very just like stereotypical, no, cliche. It's very like cliche, just like run-of-the-mill high school book. It's about this girl named Becca and this guy named Brett, and basically Becca is like very like loner girl. All she does is read, as you can tell from the front cover. She has no friends. Her only friend graduated. She's a senior in high school. It's just very like, I don't know, it had the bones for a good book, but it was just like so cliche and bad that I just did not like it. But then Brett comes in and he's like the super popular like jock football guy, but he's also having issues at home. And she like tells everybody that she's dating someone. Not really sure why. I don't know. She tells everybody that she has a boyfriend, and then Brett comes in and is like, oh, I'll be your boyfriend. So then they start fake dating, and then a bunch of just like stupid stuff happens. I don't even know. It's just like a whole just like mess. I don't know. And honestly, like, in my opinion, I didn't even think they like seemed like they even liked each other. Becca was so mean to him like the whole time. And I was like, why are y'all together? You seem like you hate each other. Like, not even in a good way, not even in like an enemies to lovers. It was just like genuinely, there was no chemistry. And then all of a sudden she was like, I love you. And it was like, where did that come from? You were just making fun of him. Like, what? Like, I don't know, but I gave this book 1 star, but I would probably put it down to like a 0.5 stars. I don't know, but this was like the first book I read this month. I think I read it on like New Year's Day or something. Next I read The Offside by Avery Kellen. I give this book 3 stars. I read this on my Kindle. I don't really remember like the names of the characters. I never like remember the names, but I remember like the plots. Basically, it's about this girl who she goes to this college and she's dating the hockey like captain hockey star. He ends up breaking up with her, and then she goes to a club with 2 of her best friends, and she runs into the hockey star of their rival team, and he's like the rival of her ex-boyfriend and her brother, who's also on like the hockey team of the school that she goes to. And they end up hooking up, or they don't end up hooking up, she ends up like going home with him. And then what happens next? Oh, and then just like a bunch of like trauma just like at her school happens. Like her roommates or like her best friends, they like turn away from her, and then just like all this shit, and then he is just like there for her, and then they start like kind of like fake dating sort of, but like not really. It's mostly just to like piss all of her friends off. And it's just like, honestly, it was just really cute, and I love like a good hockey romance, so I really liked it. There were like parts where I was just like, I don't understand. Like, it was longer than I thought it should have been. There was like the ending, the very ending part, I just felt like was not necessary. The main girl was a little annoying. She was just very like, I'm not like other girls kind of thing. It was kind of aggravating, but whatever. Like, I feel like those girls are very common in like sports romances, because it's like, oh, I'm not like a hockey slut. Like, I actually know what's going on in hockey. Like, okay, I do too, and I'm like, I can admit that I'm there to watch it because of the guys. Like, I actually like the game, but the guys are also really hot. So I gave the book 3 stars. I actually really enjoyed it. So it's by Avery Kellen. It's on Kindle Unlimited. The next book I read, so I started rereading the Off Campus series and the Briar U series by Elle Kennedy. I read The Goal in December, and then I just like bought the books because when I read them the first time, I read them online. I didn't have the physical copies, so I bought the physical copies to like annotate and stuff. The Mistake, I rated this 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed this book. So basically, if you've never heard of the Off Campus or Briar U series, it is about, Off Campus series is about 4 hockey players. They all live together in an off campus house. And they go to Briar U, which is a fictional like Ivy League school in Hastings, Massachusetts, which is like a small town outside of Boston. And the school is like really known for hockey. And then it's these 4 guys. So the first book is about Garrett, and then this book is about Logan, who's his like best friend and also like lives in the house with them. And then this book is also about Grace, who is this freshman. They meet at a party her freshman year, and I think he's like a junior. And then they end up like, I can't remember, he ends up like making her just feel like, he ends up like leading her on because he thinks he has feelings for someone else, but he doesn't really. And then she like leaves, goes to Paris for the summer, and then they end up both going back to school, and then he like wants her back. She kind of like makes him work for it, does this whole like scavenger hunt. It's really, really good. I love this book, and I love Grace. And I just think John Logan is so funny. I don't know, but yeah, I rated this 4 stars. Okay, and then we go into the Briar U series. So this, I have The Chase. I have some opinions about this book. So the first time I read this book, I really, really liked it because I love Summer. I just thought she was really funny, and she like kind of reminded me of myself. And I didn't really pay attention to Fitz at first. I was like, oh, he's kind of cute, like whatever. Then I reread this book, and I got very, very aggravated with him. He's just so mean to her, and I just don't know. And also, Destiny Sidwell read this book for the first time, and she started like talking her opinions about it, and she was like, he's just so mean, like he just doesn't seem like he likes her that much. Like, he says all these things about like her, like he calls her a bitch, like he literally like says all these things. He calls her like shallow to her face, literally calls her shallow. Is like saying all these things to her, and like, yeah, he kind of turns around and is like nice to her, and they have like this whole like cute like friend banter thing, but just like the beginning is kind of shitty. So I still really enjoyed it because I love this universe, and I love like her, and I think she's really fun, and I love like her friendship with all the boys. But I don't know, I still like kind of, it just made me a little uncomfortable with like Fitz. But I give this 2 stars. Basically, this book is about Summer, who is the sister of Dean, who is one of the guys in the Off Campus series. And she gets kicked out of her college. She's just so funny. I just love her. She's so cute. She gets kicked out of her college for reasons. So she tries to move in to to her sorority house at BYU, but they're like no. So she gets like she leaves, and then her brother's like, you should stay with Fitz and everybody else in my old house because I'm like graduated, I don't live there. You should live there now. And she's like, okay, chill. So she moves in with them, but then Fitz is like trying to like not believe that he has a crush on her, but she's like constantly like, I like Fitz, I love Fitz, like Fitz, like blah, 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 like all these things. And then finally when she's like, I don't have any interest in you, Fitz is like, I love you. So it was like a good book. I love like the banter with her and like the other characters. I just think she's hilarious. But yeah, so I rated that 2 stars. And then we have the play. So I couldn't find the second book, which is The Risk, I'm pretty sure. So we kind of read the series out of order. This is the 3rd book in the BYU series. And I don't know if it's because I've read like other books since this one, but Demi annoyed me so much in this book. Like, she is such a pick-me in this book. Like, I just can't. Some of the things that she was saying, I just genuinely could not, and I had to like pause the book, and I was like, I just can't. Like, I just genuinely cannot. Basically, this book is about Demi and Hunter. Hunter is again one of the kids on the hockey team, not football, on the hockey team, and he's basically like, he had a bad season the season before, so he's now like trying to like not do that, so he's not having sex, celibate. And then Demi is his like tutor, or not tutor, his like partner in a psychology exam thing. And then they like become friends, and they like kind of become more, and I don't know, it's kind of confusing. I really did not like Demi in a lot of this, so 2 stars. I don't know. Okay, and then we got to Kiss the Sky. So I read the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. I started it in like September, and then I read like the rest of the books in like December, and then I really read a lot of the books in January. So this is Kiss the Sky. This is Rose and Connor's book. So Rose is Lily, who is the main girl in the Addicted series. She's her older sister, and Connor is Rose's like old academic rival, and they start dating in, I think, Ricochet. They start dating, which is like the second book in Lily and Lowe's universe, their book series. So I think they start dating in there, but they like back and forth. This book is like focuses on them. It's in Rose and Connor's point of view. And bro, I fell in love with them in this book. Connor's still like not, Rose and Connor still aren't like my favorites. Daisy and Rake all the way. But I did really enjoy this book. I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. I just thought they were so cute, and just like the way that they like love each other. Like, you can tell that they're meant for each other. And the love that Rose has for her sisters is just, it's so cute, guys. I just love it. Like, this I think is when I started actually really loving the series, because I kind of had trouble with the series, especially for Addicted for Now, which was the book before this one. I just had like trouble with it because I was like, I'm so bored, like they're just complaining about their issues, like nothing is changing, like blah blah blah. This actually made me like really love it, because it also, you get the perspective of Lily and Lo from other people, and you're starting like, oh, like they're actually like really adorable, and like I don't know, I just love this universe, and I love Rose and Connor, so I give this 5 stars. Next book was Hothouse Flower. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is Daisy and Rike's book, and Daisy is the youngest Meadows. Bro, I knew I was gonna love them, because Daisy she shows up in Addicted to You, which is the first book, but then she really shows up in like Ricochet, and like Rike and Daisy really show up in Ricochet, and I just like knew I was gonna love her from then. I was like, I'm going to love them. Like, I can't wait for their book. I literally like sped through all the books because I was like, I need to get to this one. I'm obsessed with them. Like, I'm still obsessed with them after like reading the whole series. Now I'm on like the Like Us series, which is their kids. I'm literally like obsessed with them so much. I need to like talk about the book, but I just like can't. I just love this book so much. So basically, Daisy is the youngest sister, and she also is like a model, so she has like this whole thing going on. She's kind of like neglected a little bit by her sisters. She's like the youngest. There's a big age difference between all of her sisters. Reich is Lauren's brother, and then in this book they've always been friends. In this, they kind of just start becoming more. They start like meshing a little bit more. You see in like Kiss the Sky that they're becoming like a little bit more, and everyone's like a little wary of it. Ooh. Sorry guys, I just knocked over the camera. Okay, sorry about that. And then all like the people are kind of like wary about it just because of the age difference. I think there's like an 8-year age difference or something like that. It's like 6 or 18 years. Yeah, there's like an 8-year age difference between them. And I just you guys need to read this book. Like, you just need to read this series so you can read this book, because there's so many moments in this book that I just want to just scream and like kick my, like, in this, literally reading this book, there were so many scenes where I was just like kicking my feet, and like literally I did a Be Real. I was like, Mike Meadows, because I love him so much. But like at the bottom of my heart, Mike Meadows, like Mike Meadows and Daisy are OTP, one true pair, honestly. Okay, next book is Thrive. Wasn't a huge fan of this book. I don't really remember what happens. Okay, so this focuses on Lily and Logan. This is honestly just felt kind of like a filler book to me. Like, I don't remember what really happened. Okay, she was pregnant, I think, in this book. Is she pregnant in this book? Okay, yeah, so basically, like, there's rumors. I'm pretty sure she's pregnant. I'm pretty sure you find out in Hot House Flower that she's pregnant. It's kind of a spoiler, but not really. But Lily gets pregnant, and her like sex addiction just gets worse because like hormones and stuff. And then also there's like a rumor that Reich, Lo, and Lily are all having a threesome, which, why? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me, but whatever. But yeah, so this like whole thing, like Lily's just struggling a lot, and they're just like stuck in her bedroom. I remember I wasn't a huge fan of this book just because it felt really repetitive of the other books. It was just very filler to me, but I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I was just like, come on, guys. Like, come on. Can we move on, please? Like, move the fuck on. I was just over at this point. So I rated the book 2 stars, and then I read Addicted After All, which I think I rated this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I think what makes this book is so special is it's the last like Addicted book, so it's the last one that focuses on Lily and Lo, and so you're like, actually, this is like the last one that you're actually like focused on the two of them. So it's just really special to me because you see like their growth, you see how much they grow. Especially there's a scene a lot of people like quote, like in the first book she's like not very confident in like, oh, I'm a sex addict, like, oh, I have an issue, like all of that. And then you see in this book she's like, yeah, my name's Lily Hale, I'm a sex addict, like that's me. And they're like married in this book. Like, there's just so many things in this book. I'm pretty sure she has the kid in this book. Yeah, she has Mafi in this book, who's their kid, Maximoff. And it's just, it made me so happy seeing the growth of the two characters, and I really enjoyed this book. Like, I felt like it was literally like seeing my friends coming on the other side of like a huge dark place that they were in. Like, this whole book series just feels like reading about your friends. So I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten to the book I am waiting to talk about. Technically, this isn't 1 book. Technically, it's 5. But it's like, I'm just gonna mesh it all together. The Mindfuck series. So I read this book on my phone and literally talk to any of my friends, any of them, and they will tell you, oh yeah, the Mindfuck series. Molly would not shut the fuck up about that book the whole time I was reading it. I made it everyone's problem. I read it when we were in Australia. I think I finished the last book when we flew to Sydney. Like, I think that was like, because I started it in Melbourne, I'm pretty sure, and then I read it the whole time we were in Cairns, and then I finished it in Sydney, which was literally like a couple days. It was like a week basically. And I am obsessed with this book. If you have not read the Mindfuck series, you need to read it. Like, you need to read it. There is not 1 book I would recommend more than the Mindfuck series. Like, I literally recommended it to every single person. Like, every single person that would listen to me, I would tell them about it. I would be like, so have you read the Mindfuck series? Like, it's literally the best thing ever. It's about this girl named Lana. She goes through this super, oh my god, like, super traumatic event. Like, trigger warnings for this book, by the way, too. Look them up. There's a lot of trigger warnings. She goes through this very, very traumatic event. She loses her father and her dad through the event. Completely changes her life, changes her name, and she then, it's like 10 or 15 years later, she is now enacting revenge on all of the people that acted in this night and the death of her father and her brother. And at the same time, she then meets Logan, who is an FBI agent, and he is actually the one that is on the case of her. He's like a profiler, and he is the profiler that is on her case, literally actively looking for this murderer, and it's his girlfriend. Like, it's literally insane. Like, you don't understand how crazy this book is. There were moments I literally was like, because I was reading in public, I was reading it all the time. There were moments I literally had to put my phone down, and I was like, I can't. Like, I literally just cannot. Like, this is insane. When we were in Cairns, I got so freaked out. I locked our door, and then my roommate couldn't get in because she was like out late. And then she was calling me. She was like, bro, I can't get in the house. I'm like, sorry, I locked it. I was freaked out. I just like can't. This book is just like literally the craziest thing ever. I've told everyone and their mother about this book. I am obsessed with it. If there is 1 book that you take away from this video to read, the Mindfuck series, go read it, please. Please. So obviously I rated that series 5 stars. I'm obsessed with it. Okay, next we have February. So this is all the books I read in February. So that's like it for January. I read 11 books. Did pretty well. The first book I read was 5 Dates Between Friends. Read this on my Kindle. Not a lot of thoughts about it. It's just about these 2 friends that then decide to date. They have 5 dates. They then, like, it meets up to, they like go on a date, and then they're like, oh, we love each other, and blah blah blah. Like, it's like a friends to lovers. It's cute. It's by Chloe Thompson. I rated it 2 stars. I just kind of like read it on my phone. It's just a cute, fun read. That's all. Next is The Year We Fell Down by Serena Bowen. I rated this 1 star. It's basically about a girl who gets in a hockey accident, gets paralyzed, and then she goes to college. She meets this guy who also got in a hockey accident, but his leg's just broken. He's not paralyzed. They become friends. It's this whole thing. The only thing I didn't like about it was just, she just made the whole like paralyzed thing like way too big of a deal. I don't know. It just kind of made me uncomfortable. I was just like, I don't know. So I didn't really fully like this book that much, but it was just a cute little like Kindle Unlimited read. Like, it was fine. I just wanted a hockey book, and I got one. So that's it. Next is First Down by Grace Riley. So this was a hockey book. I liked this book, but the guy in it was really, really controlling, and that was like the whole issue of the book, basically. Like, So it's about this guy who is a hockey player or football player, transfers from college to college, meets this girl. They start like hanging out, then they start hooking up, then they start dating. His like family, all of his friends are kind of worried because the reason that he transferred was because there was like a whole girl who was really obsessed with him. They had a really toxic relationship, and he put football on the back burner for her. And then everyone's like, no, you can't do that, like football's literally like your life, like you love it. And then he kind of does the same thing for this girl, and it's just kind of weird to me. I just thought it was very like, I don't know, I didn't really like it that much. Also, the main girl was really annoying. She again was one of those girls that was like, I'm not a slut, like I love football, I'm not like other girls. It was just kind of annoying, so I didn't really like it that much. But again, it was just a cute little read. I rated it 1 stars. So sorry, I'm like slouching so much, I'm not meaning to. Next is Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer. I rated this 3 stars. It's basically about a guy who, so a guy and a girl dated in high school, right? Then he becomes this like big time actor, blah, 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 leaves. She ends up having their kid. He kind of knows about it, but not really. I wasn't really clear if he like actually knew she existed or not. I don't really know. But then he becomes like this big like superhero actor, and then he kind of has like an accident. He decides to come home, comes back into their life. She's like struggling, and then he like becomes a dad, and it's like this whole thing. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute, and I thought the kid in it was really cute, and I like the whole like one of us is famous trope. So I enjoyed it. I gave that 3 stars. Next, finally a physical book, is Fuel the Fire. I think I gave this, okay, I gave this 4 stars, but this is Rose and Connor's second book, so this is just like talks more about them. Basically Connor's secret, not really a secret, but it kind of comes out that he is also attracted to men, and everyone makes a huge deal out of it. They're like, oh, he can't be trusted, like he doesn't love Rose. They're like thinking that he's like not in love with Rose anymore, like it's just whole like just transactional marriage. Like everyone's freaking out about it for literally no reason. That's kind of the whole book. There's just like rumors. It's that. It honestly is pretty cute. I kind of liked it. 4 stars. It's just another book in the Addicted series, so that's all. Next was Icebreaker. This was a reread. I didn't have a physical copy. I found it in Ireland, and so I bought it. Why is there stuff on? Ew. Sorry, there's like stains on the back, but this is one of my favorite hockey reads. If you like are getting into hockey books or whatever, you need to read this. This, in my opinion, is everything that the Addicted series, or not the Addicted series, the Off-Campus Bayou series was trying to be. Like, it's just like a more like mature version of that, to me at least. Like the writing is just a lot more mature, the characters are a lot more thought out, the people are a lot more mature in this book. But it's about these 2 people, Anastasia and Nate. Nate is a hockey player, Anastasia is an ice skater. They both go to the same college. And then like an event happens where one of the ice rinks like melts, so the hockey team and the ice skating team have to share a rink, and these 2 kind of have like a little flirty like frenemies to lovers banter kind of thing, and it's super cute. I loved it so much. And then they end up like kind of being more, something happens to Anastasia's partner. I hate that guy. And then Nate kind of like helps her out with ice skating. It's super adorable. There's so much communication in this book. Like these 2 communicate so well. If you are not a miscommunication girly, I'm not a miscommunication girly, you will love this book. You will love this book is all I'm saying. I give it 5 stars. Okay. Next, I read The Final Offer, which oh, I am done with Lauren Asher. I'm sorry. None of her books I really like that much. And this just sealed the deal for me, honestly. This is the third book in the Dream Van Billionaire series. I don't know. And so this is like the third brother. This is about Cal, and then he like blah blah blah. I don't even care that much to talk about it. It was like 3 stars for me, 2 stars. It just wasn't that good. I didn't like it. The main girl was annoying. Like, you're in love with him. Just tell him that you're in love with him. I hate that when they're like, I'm not in love with you. I'm like, yes you are. Just fucking say it. Like, genuinely just tell him you love him. I know it, you know it, come on. Okay, and then the last book I read was Malibu Rising. I read it physical, but I lent the book to my roommate and then I went home, so she has it. So I don't currently have it, but when she comes home I'm gonna get it back from her. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Another just Taylor Jenkins Reid's book that was really good. I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid is kind of like just a hit or miss. Like, some people love her, some people hate her, and I really enjoyed this book. I gave it to my roommate who does not read, and she loves it. I don't know where she is in it right now, but she loves it so much. So it's just a really good book. I thought it was really interesting. It's basically about this family who the dad, his name's like Ray or something, I don't remember, but so it just follows his whole family like all throughout the years, follows like their parents, follows the kids, follows everything, and also like flashbacks and forth. But it's this party is happening, and then there's also like flashbacks in between, and you get like all of the kids like perspectives throughout the day, throughout the party, and then like different like flashbacks and stuff. So it's about this family. The dad is like really famous. He becomes this like rock star, leaves the mom gets like super depressed, she ends up dying, and then the main girl, her name's Nina, she has to kind of take care of her siblings. And it's kind of like talks about this whole family. It's very like iconic family. Everyone kind of like knows them, knows about their parents, knows about their dad, like, and then it talks about this very like iconic party that everybody goes to. And I don't know, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Okay, so that is all. This was a very long video, I'm sorry. I just wanted to like say everything about the books so I can get on track for March. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Bye.